Greetings, citizens of Gaia, and welcome to another episode of Using Scan Final Fantasy IX. I'm Black Mage Timmy, and we're having some focal problems here. Just give it a second. Oh, there we go. So, we're going to have one more focal problem there. And welcome to another episode of Using Scan Final Fantasy IX. This is the start of episode 2, which will be Alexandria Castle. Now, we're going to just have to sit through this cutscene, because I wanted to try and give my intros a bit more of, like, rather than impede on the gameplay aspect, just to really make sure that I can keep you guys updated on what's going on gameplay-wise, and so I don't waffle on. I don't want you guys to have to deal with that. So, this is the intro into the kind of castle. At the moment, this is... Well, I think you guys are pretty caught up. I don't think you really need any explanation. But for this episode, depending on how far we can get, I want to try and get like at least into the next save file. The next save mogul. That'd be just, peachy. But we'll see how we go. It just depends on how long the battles kind of take. I'll try and speed through as much of the talking as I can. So, as per usual, you guys won't have to deal with the ridiculous text. I want you guys to actually read it yourselves. Because, look, the story's great, but we're just not going to have time for it in these videos. Okay, so we're in this play, which is kind of long-winded. I mean, like, it's taken us 2 minutes and we still haven't even hit gameplay yet. But we're about to. Okay, so basically what's going to happen is we're going to hit this, like, story battle part, but it's going to be a bit different. So I want to explain now, because the characters are on stage, none of them will be able to use the steal command. Like, none of them. Instead, they'll get these abilities called SFX, which I would take the time to show you. I might do one just out of principle. Whoever gets it first, I'll use it first. But special effects do no damage, so they're pretty useless to use. So I really advise against it. Also, I don't think you really need to attack King Leo's minions. But I'm not sure, and I don't know how this is going to go. King Leo has about the same health as well as Baku, or the Masked Man did in the first one. So she doesn't take about 4 or 5 hits to kill. Like last time, don't worry if Cena dies, because he is pretty weak. And he probably will die. I don't know. I think the damage is different because they're trying to deal non-lethal damage. Yeah, so you do no damage with special effects, which is just really crap. But now see, he doesn't die, but he cops a lot more damage than he should. And he deals virtually none. But then again, you're only gonna get him for like another couple of battles. Actually, I think there's one battle I think after this where we'll actually have Cena in the battle, and then you never really have to deal with him again. So honestly, that is like a massive plus side, and it's terrible to say. There's not really a lot to say during this battle, just because there isn't a whole lot of tactics to the first few battles of the game. I wish there was more tactics, but it very rarely seems to be the case in the first few battles of any Final Fantasy. So, there we go. Oh, sweet, we managed to bag that in before the 5-minute mark. Okay, so we're about halfway through this first part. What I want to do is, we got this next scene, and I'll explain in advance. What we're trying to do at this point is we're about to have a sword fight between Blank and Zidane, and what they need to do is impress the crowd. So this goes about by hitting either the D-pad or one of the triangle, square, X, circle buttons, which is basically... Blank will tell you which one to use, and you're going to try and do this without screwing up at all and as quickly as possible. The more you can do, the more people you'll impress, and usually a better item. Now, there we go. See, now they're the buttons that we'll have to press, so I'm going to try and concentrate as much as I can here. Unfortunately, whenever I have to hit like left or right, I tend to screw up, which does happen, and it's really hard for me trying to talk and do this at the same time. So I am really sorry if I don't get the desired result. I'm only actually going to do this once. And hopefully I don't do badly. I'm doing alright at the moment. But the items you get, they will obviously range based on how many people out of 100 you impress. If you manage to impress all 100 out of 100, which I've never done in like the first round before, then you'll actually get a moonstone, which is really, really, really rare. But I can tell you, if you don't get 100 the first time, you won't get that moonstone. But don't feel bad if you don't, because it's no big deal. Alrighty, how many people did I impress? 91. See, you'll very rarely impress 100 people. Anywhere in the 90s or the late 80s is really good, though. And it's actually what we want, because Queen Bran will be impressed. And that affects an item that we're going to get later. Anyway, so you can do an encore, which is to try and get more money or impress more people. But I'm not going to, just because, for time reasons. But we just made double the money, like, about the same money that we had on us. We just made back. So, I mean, if you can execute it flawlessly and you have ESP, then, like, totally do that. But if you're like a normal person, you're like me, then don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Okay, so now we're dressed up as knights. So there's one real, I'll show you what we have to do, but there's something really important that I want to cut to first. So, quickly now. I'm afraid this one will probably have to be in like 4 videos. Just because I know this is a bit longer than the original one. Like than the Alexandria part. And with the battles and stuff like that, we're going to take into account like steal rates and... I don't know. We might knock it out in 3. Just based on how quickly we can finish the battles off. But we'll see how we go. Okay, according to Recon... Okay, so we need to go up to that top balcony that you can see. Which we're going to take the stairs. But first up, I really want you to do this. Go to the equip menu. And that mage masher that we picked up, we want to give straight to Zidane. Because it improves his attack damage. And it also gives him another ability called Detect. Which lets you see what items enemies have to steal. So then we're going to run straight up these stairs. And straight into the battle. So I'm going to try and knock this out really quickly. Because a lot of this is going to be text right before we hit the save point. So you'll get to hear me kind of waffle on for a little bit, unfortunately. Because it's the intro to the game, there isn't a lot of stuff you do. Like, you'll get, like, speech, and then, like, you walk 10 steps, and then you get speech. It's almost like the entirety of Final Fantasy 13. So, he's just screamed out. That was actually Princess Garnet that ran past us. Probably one of my least favourite characters of the game. Which you'll learn pretty quickly. Oh, I totally forgot about this. Okay, so this is Zorn and Thorn. They're basically like the pain in the neck characters for most of the game. Like every Final Fantasy has one. I think they tried to capitalize on like what would have happened if we split Kefka into 2 people after FF6. It's just, yeah, it's really tedious. And I don't think we're going to actually finish it for time. Because, yeah, I was hoping that we'd get through this really quickly. But what I'll do is I'm going to have to cut it off here. And I'll actually pause it and I'll resume it from where we were at. Which is, it's a real shame. I'll try, hopefully we can get him into the tower. Alright, so, oh, cool. So I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to cut back in a minute, and I'll see you guys in the next video.